Hey, this is Candace from BGG. I'm at SPIEL Essen 2024 at the Lucky Duck booth with the Cardboard Alchemy crew. Luke, Laurie here, about to show me all about this beautiful, epic looking game, Andromeda's Edge, which just came out or is just shipping to backers. And I'm already mesmerized by all the pieces, but Luke, can you kind of give people who are not familiar with the game an overview?
I'll try my best. It is day 4 of Essen.
I know,
It's been a
I
long
feel you,
weekend,
I feel you.
but it's great to be here. This is my first Essen. It's been an incredible experience.
Oh, awesome.
So I get all kinds of folks just walking in and they want to see everything. We have in front of us here a combination of the basic retail version of the game along with the deluxe upgraded components. Andromeda's Edge is kind of like a passion project for me. As you know, I designed Dwellings of Eldervale.
Right.
But this takes some of the concepts of Dwellings of Eldervale and takes it up to this more sophisticated, more complex, somewhat more Euro approach. You've got cards that you're going to be attaching to your station. It's going to do engine building. You have worker placement on a hexagonal board. The worker placement consists of taking your workers, which are actually spaceships of different types, 4 different types,
Cool.
placing them into the regions, performing the actions, collecting leaders. You're occupying a space, and as you do so, sometimes you trigger the attack of raiders who come in and strike in. We've got all different kinds of raiders, super cool minis. And as you go about your business, you're going to be placing your subsequent ships within range of the previously placed ship. So you might have a ship with range 1, so it can go 1 space away. You might have a more sophisticated science vessel, perhaps, that can go up to 2 spaces away.
I definitely would have that one.
And because it's a science vessel, it's the only ship that can go deep into the nebula on the edge of the Andromeda galaxy.
Cool.
You always take the action, you perform the action of where you placed, and then afterwards, then you resolve the effects of battle. So there are various stages that you go through. You do diplomacy, you do battle preparations. People are able to play all these tactics cards, which can give them advantages, disadvantages, potentially end the battles right away. And then you roll dice. After you roll all the dice, you resolve the combat. Winners gain supremacy. Losers get tossed into the scrapyard, and you gain bonus for your tactical operations. One of the key features of this game, in addition to the worker placement and the battles, is that you're going to be building developments. And developments is like a form of area control, and that each of the planetary regions is associated with a different type of development. For example, the icy planets are associated with cities. So what's going to happen is you will have to already have a transport on that region, and then you find one way to perform the development action, which is, and this one, it's on the German tile. This is the development office. When you engage that action, you're able to turn this transport into the city by installing your leaders in it, and it becomes yours.
Wow.
These are for big scoring effects that correspond to the various tracks you climb on. But all of this doesn't get into one of the meatiest parts of this game, which is the engine building. So Andromeda's Edge has super explosive engine building. And it consists of, on your player mat, you have 4 built-in core modules. And these modules represent pieces of the precursor civilization. And you've gone around, you gather these pieces, and basically this is an ancient society that was like Legos. And you take these modules, you piece them together into rows. The rows corresponding with science, industry, commerce, and civilization. And the way this will work is, after you've acquired several of these modules, you'll string together an engine. Some of them will need to be repaired. And you're able to do, I'll show you science and industry as an easy example. One of the big ways to generate a whole lot of resources. The ships that you have played out on the board, the ones that didn't get destroyed in battle that are still usable, you're able to bring them back and trigger the actions in your tableau.
That's cool.
So for example, I bring back a ship and I play it on the primary reactor. I'll use the green ones. And if I play on this primary reactor, I'm able to generate 5 energy and 1 ice all at once. So it triggers the whole row.
That's cool.
But then the industry modules, they work a little bit different in that you have to trigger each one individually, and you're able to install moon tokens in between the industry modules. So I might pull back a ship and trigger the build a ship or repair location. The other locations, the other modules in that row, I can trigger with either more ships pulling back, or I can use that energy that I just produced from my science modules. So when I drop in energy into each of these industry modules, at that point, I'm generating 5 titanium, 3 repair actions, and a credit.
Wow.
Just from 2 ships pulling back.
That's super cool. And I love, like, all the components look fantastic. The art, I love these like kind of squished tiles here, because like usually the hex tiles are like the same shape. But that's really cool. When you set up the board, is it just like you set up these tiles, or are you expanding the board with more tiles as you play?
At the beginning of the game, it's scaled by player count, so there are fewer planets if you have a smaller player count. The core tiles that are called the Alliance bases, there are 6 of them that contain core actions that are requisite to the game. They're always in the game. The planetary tiles that are of the 5 different types, they're randomized. So you're going to see different frequencies of those tiles coming out, and they are then randomly placed. As the game proceeds, various times where you either climb tracks, or if you go to purchase modules in the Odessa field or the Maximus field, you're going to trigger up an event marker. And the event marker will go around this event track, and when it gets to the endpoint, that's when you're going to be adding another hex to the board, and you're going to be revealing an event. Now the events do a few things. One of them is they can bring out a new raider, and the raiders are by types. So you can use different sets of raiders in different games depending on what you have. You're also going to be scoring one of these competitive tracks. So the point differential between the players in that specific track is going to come into play. And then there's some kind of special effect that tells the story of whatever the theme is of that event.
Very cool.
You're able to manipulate this deck in that when you go off like the science vessel into the nebula, it's like you're going and looking into the edge of the dimension, and you're able to take the top 2 event cards, look at them. You get to put one on the top and one on the bottom, and so you know what's happening next.
I always love that.
And if the players ignore going off there into science, then they're subject to the players who have manipulated that.
Very cool. This seems so epic and very unique, and I've played it once on TTS, but like it's so cool to finally see the physical version. Like the art's fantastic, components fantastic. About how long does it take to play? And is it 1 to 4 players or 2 to 4?
So the base retail game is 2 to 4. With the escalation expansion, that adds the solo and adds a 5-player. When you play solo, you're playing against me. You're playing against Unity. So the evil, oppressive force of Unity has followed you out here to the edge of the galaxy, and they're going to try to, subsume you into their oneness. And it's similar to the Ghosts AI that I built for Dwellings of Eldervale, in that it feels very much like playing an opponent. Cool. Where it's going to be following you around, getting up in your business and competing with the very things that you want to do. And in addition, there are a whole bunch of different commanders of Unity which create a different playing experience, and they're at different levels.
Oh, cool.
So the solo players are going to be able to go against their level 1s, get used to it, take on the level 2s, and I'm not worried about anybody ever beating the level 3s.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Luke. This is Andromeda's Edge. Wow, big epic space Euro follow-up to Dwellings of Eldervale.